Penguin Random House Audio presents Verity and the Forbidden Suitor, a novel by J.J. Mcavoy. Read for you by Grace Gray, Abe Jarman, and Anthony Mark Barrow. Dedicated to the people like me, who sometimes doubt they are deserving of a happily ever after. You are. Beloved listener, this is still a Regency romance involving nobility and high society, in which there are black people. This is fiction, and anything is possible here. I truly hope you enjoy it. Sincerely, your author. Part 1. Chapter 1. Verity. I am not a Du Bell, but oh, how I long to be. Not for title or wealth, nor even prestige and influence, as my family name, Eagleman, held all the same to even greater extents as a dukedom. With the exception of being a princess, there is no higher birth a girl could have than my own, and I was very much aware of the many who envied my life. Despite the many scandals of my household, my father's affairs and illegitimate son, my mother's misery and then death, followed by my father's wholly inappropriate marriage to my stepmother, a butcher's daughter. Not to mention Evander, my elder brother, and his own marriage mishaps. There was no shortage of people asserting how fortunate I was to be born Lady Verity Eagleman. But given the choice, I would have preferred to be born Lady Verity Du Bell. To be born into a home filled with warmth, laughter, and teasing. A home filled to the brim with overwhelming love. Instead, love seemed to always evade me, as though it had some personal vendetta against me. Evander was the godson of the Marchioness of Mortimer, Lady Diana Du Bell, and as such was afforded many opportunities to experience such tender emotions with the family. I, on the other hand, was kept away from them in society at the behest of my father. By the time he passed, Evander had made a mess of our connection with the Du Bells, and consequently, no other chances presented themselves. Now, as I watched the candlelight of my brother's carriage fade into the darkness, taking him and his perfect new wife, Lady Aphrodite, to their long-awaited happily ever after, the opportunity had arrived. Only I knew not how to stand before this family or society at all. I was alone. The name Verity means truth, and yet I felt as if I were nothing but a lie. In front of most people, I sought to appear confident, self-reliant, but the truth is I was afeared of so much. "I cannot believe it is done," said the Marquis to his wife, whom he held openly within his arms as we all stood before the gates of their London estate. "After all these years, you still underestimate me, my dear," the Marchioness replied, with her head held high, appearing pleased with herself. The Marquis was a man of white skin and golden hair, that was nearly all grey now, with sharp blue eyes that always seemed focused upon either his family or a book. His wife was the opposite of him, with rich brown skin deeper in shading than my own, and curly brown hair that she kept pinned up neatly. Rather than books, her brown eyes read people with frightening accuracy. "Underestimate? Never. Stand in awe of your power? Always. Well done, my dear." He squeezed her arm slightly, making her laugh, while their eldest son groaned. Damon Du Bell, the Earl of Montague, also stood beside his wife, Silver, whose face was a bit round with the nose a bit short, but her demeanour was pleasant. They were locked, arm in arm, very much a parallel set to his parents. The look on Damon's face showed he was not keen on the elder couple's public display of affection, even as he mimicked them. "One would think that you would have some restraint at your ages," Damon said to them, as though he were the parent. "Dear," Silver muttered in apprehension. "You should thank heaven we do not, or you would not exist," his father replied, making the Marchioness's eyes widen. Charles! Father! What are you all talking about? Questioned the youngest Du Bell, Abina, her little face bunched in confusion. Alongside her were two of her sisters, Heather and Davina, and her brother Hector. Nothing, said the Marchioness and her eldest son in unison. That does not seem like nothing, Abina pressed, frowning. Are you keeping a secret? Yes, they are, said Heather, the second Du Bell daughter, causing Abina to look to her for an answer. Mama and Papa were thinking of sending you off to a professional pot washer, seeing as how you've become so good at it of late. Hector and Davina giggled, and then laughed outright as Abina looked at her parents in horror. No, Papa! Abina ran to her father, holding on to his waist for dear life, which made the Marquis bend to her level and hug her. She is merely teasing you, he comforted her. But at that moment, it was I who felt pain. What must it have been like to hug one's father? One's own mother, even. I did not know. I stood before one of the most prominent and amiable families in all the ton. One I had always wished to be a part of, yet now I desperately desired to escape their blissful company. The irony. Verity, my dear, are you well? The Marchioness asked, stepping away slightly from her husband toward me. No, I am not well. How are you all so happy? These were my true thoughts. Instead of speaking them, I quickly presented my best smile and said, I am afraid not, Marchioness, as your daughter has stolen away my brother. Humour is always a good way to deflect from oneself. Ha! I beg to differ, for it is your brother who has stolen away our daughter, the Marquis declared with a hearty laugh, Abina still at his side. Father, someone cannot steal someone whom you have formally given away. Heather rolled her eyes and pointed back to the house behind her, especially in such a grand fashion as this. Heather, it is called a joke, Damon replied. Let us agree to call it the past, as in finished? As in, can we all retire for the evening so we may start afresh tomorrow, hopefully with a new main character? Heather didn't even wait, already turning to walk through the gate before anyone else. I pick Verity to go next, Abina yelled, purposely running right by her sister's skirts, causing Heather to nearly stumble. Abina! Heather hollered, steadying herself. The small girl spun around, grinning. She is much more handsome, and she's a duke's daughter. Everyone will be engaged this season before you. To the pots with you! Heather dashed after her into the house. Only Mama can do that, I heard her little voice yell back. Where do they find this energy? The Marquis snickered, and then looked over to his wife. Ah, never mind. I have found the source. Damon, his wife, and the rest of his siblings all laughed. The Marchioness managed only to shoot him a glare, detaching herself from his side entirely and walking over to me. Since you all wish to join your father in teasing me, I shall focus on this good child. She met my gaze and smiled from ear to ear, taking my hand. Oh, how happy I am to finally have you stay with us, Verity. Thank you once again for having me, your ladyship. Have I not told you that you may call me godmother? I shall accept only that title. Now come, let me show you to your rooms, she said, as she led me back into the house, where the splendour of my brother's wedding feast was slowly being dismantled by the servants. Ingrid? The Marchioness called out, and immediately a slender older woman with a white streak of hair amidst all her pinned-up dark hair arrived at her side, curtsying before her. I found it strange that a lady would ever call any servant by anything but their surname, but no one else seemed to be concerned. Do tell the servants they may leave the cleaning up until the morning. And they may have the last barrel of wine, the Marquis's voice boomed from behind us.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?